Let's talk to Mary in Leicestershire. How do you feel about this, Mary? Thanks for ringing.
Hi, I'm just surprised that the last speaker, he said, when you asked her, can Meghan and the children come too? Yeah, they can come. Yes, they definitely can come. Harry and his family. What I really like about Harry is, he's a gutsy person. He went after the newspapers for the hacking job, and he extracted an apology from them about the way they hounded his mother.
True, yeah.
And his mother was actually hacked.
You're absolutely right. I really, really agree with that. It's very, very daunting to take on.
He's got his mother's genes, hasn't he?
Yeah, Mary, you're right. It takes a lot of money, a lot of guts.
Yeah.
It really does. But I think some people perceived it very differently from you, Mary. They just thought, God, he's whinging. He's always complaining. He's always moaning. And this is a man who is, a multi-millionaire, a man who is incredibly privileged, a man who's married a woman that he says he adores, got 2 beautiful children. Why is he always wronged and why is he always moaning? But you don't quite see it like that, Mary.
No, I don't see it like that at all, Vanessa. I mean, William took a payout from the newspapers slyly without any of us knowing it until it was all brought out into the open. And why shouldn't he write a book about himself? Why should Paul Burrell and Angela Kelly and Giles Brandreth be writing about him and about his life? Yeah. Why couldn't he write about his own life and about the erroneous stories that were put out about him and the way his wife was ridiculed, and his family were, he basically had to leave the country. Why didn't his father or his brother speak out to the newspapers and say, enough is enough?
Well, first of all, unfortunately, you don't get to tell the newspapers enough is enough.
Sometimes a single voice can cut through the noise and make us pause, even if just for a moment, to truly listen. In a world where opinions are shouted from every corner, it's rare to hear someone speak with such clarity and conviction that it makes you reconsider your own perspective. And yet that's exactly what happened when Mary from Leicestershire picked up the phone and called into the Vanessa Feltz radio show. Her words didn't just fill the airwaves, they resonated, echoing long after the call had ended. Mary's call wasn't the usual complaint or criticism. Instead, she brought something different, a sense of gratitude and admiration for someone often misunderstood. She didn't call to criticize Prince Harry, but to praise him. In a climate where negativity often dominates, her positivity was refreshing. Mary called him gutsy, admiring his courage to take on the tabloid press. She spoke about how difficult it must be to stand up to such relentless scrutiny, especially when the world seems eager to judge. To Mary, Harry wasn't just a controversial royal. He was a person, someone brave enough to challenge powerful media corporations, to speak out even when it's unpopular, and to protect his loved ones at all costs. For Mary, his willingness to fight for his family's privacy showed true character. She saw a man determined to shield his wife and children from the same pain his mother endured. She looked past the headlines and saw a son defending his mother's honour, remembering the heartbreak Princess Diana faced and recognising Harry's efforts to break that cycle. In a world quick to judge, Mary chose empathy and fairness. She reminded us that it's easy to criticise from afar, but much harder to understand the real struggles behind the public image. Her words stood out, reminding us to look beyond easy narratives and to question the stories we're told. She challenged listeners to think for themselves, to dig deeper, and to find the humanity in every headline. Mary was named Caller of the Month on the Vanessa Feltz Show for her thoughtful perspective. But really, her call was more than just a moment of recognition. It was a lesson in compassion and open-mindedness. Mary's call was a reminder that behind every public drama are real people with real motivations, real fears, and real hopes. She encouraged us to pause before passing judgment, to consider the bigger picture, and to remember that kindness matters. She encouraged us to think for ourselves and see the good where others see controversy. Her words inspired a conversation that lingered long after the show ended. Her passionate defence of Prince Harry was a call for compassion, a plea to look beyond the surface and recognise the courage it takes to stand up for what you believe in. It was a moment of honesty that reminded me why I love listening to radio. Because every so often someone like Mary calls in and reminds us all of the power of empathy and the importance of listening with an open heart. To truly understand Mary's admiration for Prince Harry, we need to look deeper into the extraordinary battle he fought, not just as a royal, but as an individual determined to stand up for what's right, no matter the cost. Prince Harry's fight wasn't just a headline. It was a relentless pursuit of justice that demanded courage and resilience at every turn. For 5 years, starting in 2019, Harry took on News Group newspapers, owned by media mogul Rupert Murdoch, a powerful adversary with vast resources and influence. This wasn't about minor disputes or simple misunderstandings. The case centered on illegal methods used by journalists to invade Harry's privacy, including phone hacking and the unlawful gathering of personal information. The allegations stretched back from 1996 to 2011, covering Harry's most vulnerable and formative years marked by personal loss, public scrutiny, and the constant glare of the media spotlight. The legal process was grueling and emotionally draining. Endless delays, adjournments, and legal maneuvers tested Harry's resolve, making every step forward a hard-won victory. Many in his position might have given up, overwhelmed by the pressure and the odds stacked against them. But Harry persisted, refusing to be silenced or intimidated. He wasn't seeking a quiet payout or a private settlement. What Harry wanted was public accountability, a clear admission of wrongdoing from those who had caused him harm. Finally, in January 2025, after years of legal wrangling, the newspaper group agreed to settle the case. The settlement included substantial financial compensation, recognizing the seriousness of the harm done. But even more importantly, it came with a full public apology, an acknowledgement that Harry's rights had been violated. The publisher admitted to unlawful activities that had caused Harry significant distress, both personally and professionally. This was more than just a legal win. It was a deeply personal vindication. Harry's determination and refusal to back down had finally paid off. He stood his ground, faced his critics, and emerged victorious, inspiring others to challenge injustice. Harry's fight set a powerful new standard for holding the press accountable, showing that even the most powerful institutions can be challenged, and that justice, though hard-won, is possible. The apology Harry received was significant, especially because it acknowledged the press's treatment of his late mother, Princess Diana. For years, the media's relentless pursuit of her story led to pain and tragedy, and Harry has carried the weight of that legacy. For Harry, this was never just about himself. It was about justice for his mother. He has spoken openly about the trauma his family endured, and this moment was a chance to confront the forces that hurt them. The public admission was a powerful correction to a painful history. It was a rare moment when the truth was acknowledged, not just in private, but for the world to see. By forcing a media giant to acknowledge its role, Harry honoured his mother's legacy. He stood up not only for Diana, but for anyone who has suffered at the hands of an unaccountable press. This wasn't just compensation. It was emotional validation. It was a recognition of the pain caused, and a step toward healing old wounds that have lingered for decades. Harry fought a battle his mother never could. He used his voice and his platform to demand accountability, something Diana was denied in her lifetime. His victory sets a precedent for accountability and historical truth. It sends a message that even the most powerful institutions can be held responsible for their actions. It shows that determination can bring about real change. Harry's persistence is a reminder that justice is possible, even when the odds seem insurmountable. For Harry, this was deeply personal, a son standing up for his mother. It was about love, memory, and the promise to protect her legacy. He secured the apology she never received. In doing so, he brought a sense of closure to a story that has haunted his family for years. This moment will resonate far beyond the courtroom. It stands as a testament to the power of truth, the importance of accountability, and the enduring strength of a son's love for his mother. Mary highlighted the contrast between the royal brothers' responses to press intrusion. Harry fought his battle publicly, seeking accountability in the open. He attended court, making his fight a matter of public record. In contrast, Prince William settled privately, accepting a payout without public acknowledgement. Harry's approach forced a public reckoning and a formal apology. William's was a private solution, resolving his grievance quietly. Both were victims, but their choices reflected different priorities. Mary admired Harry's guts for choosing the harder public path. He could have settled quietly, but he wanted justice and a public admission of wrongdoing. This difference explains why Harry's actions resonate with so many. It's a story of courage in the face of powerful opposition. Mary raised a sharp point about the criticism Harry faced for writing. She questioned why it's acceptable for others to write about the royals, but not for Harry to tell his own story. Former staff like Paul Burrell and Angela Kelly published books about royal life without facing the same backlash. If outsiders can profit from his story, why can't Harry share his own experiences? Mary argued it's only fair for Harry to control his own narrative. Denying him that right is a double standard. She championed his right to speak his truth. It's a matter of basic fairness. I challenged Mary with the common criticism that Harry is a complainer. She dismissed it instantly, refusing to accept the negative labels. For Mary, Harry's actions were about justice, not self-pity. She saw his fight as principled and necessary. Mary's support was thoughtful and unwavering. She didn't let the conversation descend into negativity. Instead, she stuck to her principles and calmly restated her position. Mary's response was a lesson in handling criticism with grace. She saw through attempts to undermine Harry's fight. Her conviction was clear. She supported Harry because she believed in fairness. Mary wasn't just a fan. She was a critical thinker with her own conclusions. The settlement and apology mark a monumental victory for Prince Harry. His goal was always accountability, not just compensation. This is personal vindication and a chance to close a painful chapter. Harry has held a powerful institution to account and proven his point publicly. This outcome sends a message: privacy matters, even for public figures. Harry's fight sets a precedent for higher ethical standards in journalism. His battle serves the public interest, not just his own. Ultimately, this is a story of love, courage, and justice. As Mary said, Harry is truly gutsy. He faced a giant and won. This is more than news. It's a human story of triumph and hope.